Right after getting approval to inject everyone's children, Pfizer has secretly added the drug tromethamine to the already dangerous gene-editing concoction. So-called vaccines that appear to be causing heart attacks in otherwise young, healthy recipients, including pro athletes. Tromethamine is used to stabilize the blood in heart attack victims. Pfizer claims that tromethamine is being added as a buffer to replace phosphate-buffered saline, which is a water-based salt solution. But tromethamine is not anything like a water-based salt solution. It is another dangerous petrochemical with a long list of side effects. It has never been tested with the so-called vaccines, and it is only safe within the circulatory system. A known side effect is tissue damage if any tromethamine leaks from the vein. And every single child they inject will be injected into their muscle, not the vein, which means every single child will be at risk of tissue damage, along with ADE, autoimmune disease, and death. We are at war, and the attack is brought to you by Pfizer and Company.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
From the very beginning of the manufactured COVID plandemic, it was never about the children. We were always told the children will be fine. It was about the elderly and the sick. And then they realized we will submit to anything. So why not go for our children? If we allow it, they've already conquered us. And many of our children can see exactly what's going on, even if their parents can't. They are all experiencing evil at the highest level right now. Many will be deeply inspired to fight back. So why would these barbarians let them live, knowing that we will let them inject our children with an experimental drug that has demonstrably been shown to do great damage, all under the guise of protecting us from the common cold? The hospitals were empty during COVID, and they are now overwhelmed by the vaccinated. The same company profiting off this deadly scam openly has its hand in the FDA, is immune from liability, calls anyone who questions them criminals, and is secretly adding new drugs to an already deadly cocktail upon FDA approval to inject our kids. For Infowars.com, this is Greg Reese. Thank you for watching the latest Greg Reese Report. Be sure to go to reesereport.com to see my latest videos, sign up for my free newsletter, and subscribe for exclusive content. And be sure to support my sponsor at InfoWarsStore.com. The purpose of fear is to call us into action, and there is plenty to be afraid of today. Half the population has lined up for an untested, deadly, and debilitating experimental injection because they were told to be afraid of an invisible asymptomatic disease. The perpetrators of all this have clearly stated their goal of having 80% of the population hooked up to an artificial intelligence hive mind in less than 9 years. For those of us who have awoken from the spell, we know this is all really happening, and it's unbelievably unsettling to see. But there is only two things to do. We continue sounding the alarm because it's a numbers game. If enough people awaken from the cult spell, then we win. But even when we win, and we eventually will, the days of convenience are soon coming to an end. And so we must prepare. Get up to a year's worth of storable foods, water filtration, survival gear, seeds, shortwave radios, and life-saving knowledge at InfoWarsStore.com.